Welcome to Foto Dojo, where you can explore making comics, cartoons, characters, stories, and imaginary worlds. With me, Adam Fotis, creator of Dragon and Goat, a comic about a dragon and a goat. Plus, he's a professor of humanities and friend of huge manatees. Okay guys, so we're going to start off with our first sort of like cartooning lesson, and I want us to, sort of think about how we're approaching cartooning a few different ways. I think that for the most part, if you're taking a look at this and you're wanting to make comics, you've probably drawn before. I mean, it's one of the basic skills that you do need, but also keep in mind that comics can be very basic. Like the drawings don't have to be super elaborate. Like I love very rich, detailed comics with, somewhat like realistic backgrounds, sort of like deep shadows and things like that. But, for the comics that you're making, if you're just starting out, don't worry about them looking super cool. Just draw, and so don't really worry about it. So if you're coming to making comics, I'm pretty sure that everybody can make this sort of basic cartoon. And so here we've got, probably the thing that you're most comfortable drawing, and the thing that probably we want to get away from the most in terms of making our comics is your standard stick person. So we've got the stick person here, very easy to make, but also pretty boring, pretty generic. Now there have been some comics artists who've done great stuff with some stick figures, but for us, we don't want to just rely on it because we can't draw anything else. So what we're going to talk about today is translating your stick person to an actual just cartoon person. And the easiest way to do that is to actually build on a stick person. So we're going to start here with the same basic shape, and basic shapes are really what cartooning is all about as you're starting off. So I'm just going to do kind of a loose circle again. I don't really care that it's a perfect circle. Charles Schultz for Charlie Brown, when he was drawing Charlie Brown, he can knock out this amazing shape for Charlie Brown's head. I cannot really do that while I'm standing up on my drafting table, but I'm just going to start there with some eyes so I know where my character's oriented. Now, if you're wanting to move from stick figure to just a regular cartoon character, you just have to kind of start with the same basic idea of the stick person. So I like to just draw a line down here. Now keep in mind, with cartooning, you're in a sort of process of visual communication where your drawings are communicating an idea and translating the real world, your experiences, and your ideas into a visual experience for somebody else. So when we're drawing a stick figure and we're drawing a line like this and a line like this is a simplified spine and arms in the stick person, but we can also use it as our shoulders for our cartoon character. So I'm just going to stop there for now, and then we're going to just beef out the shapes a bit more. So for the neck, I'm going to take the neck and instead of just a single line, do a line on the outside and on this side. Now, when you're starting off with your cartoons, keep in mind you want to keep things to where like pretty light. Don't use a lot of pressure where you're like really bearing down on the paper. You want to keep it very feather light, very, very light touch. And this can be really useful because then when you go back, it'll be way easier to erase the lighter marks. And this is what cartooning is sort of about at the beginning levels, is you want to be building up your character rather than just sort of, drawing a clean, perfect character flowing right off the pencil or the pen. Okay, so we've got our neck shape here, and I'm still going to leave this line for the spine. And then instead, you can see this already starts to look, instead of arms, it looks like shoulders. And so as the shoulders, I'm going to make this sort of the top part of our cartoon character here. just make a little box, right? So now that's going to stand in for our character's torso, rib cage, whatever you want to call it. And then for arms, I like to do usually like little circles here. I think of these as like joints that you're going to sort of hang the arms off of. So there we got one arm there, one arm there. If you want to have a character with more sort of like bendability, so like having different points of sort of movement, then you might want to include some elbows. And I do the elbows with a little circle there, and then hang off the forearm right there off the elbows, right? So we've got that, so that you can see this starts to become kind of like a wire frame or wire skeleton for your character. So then from the torso, then we have the pelvis or the hips, and we can do that with a few different shapes. We're just going to do maybe like a basic half circle here, keep things easy today. And then off of that, then you've got like the point where the legs attached to the hips, which is, again, another circle. And then you drop off your legs, you do your knees like this. Now, when you're first designing a character, if you don't really, have any drawings of the character that you've done before, this is not, a bad idea to do like a super simple pose. So you can start thinking about what the proportions of the character are, like that's the size relationship, like how big are the arms, how big are the legs compared to the head size. And then we get the feet here, potato feet work, hands. We do like some like hamburger patties for the hands, the basic shape of the hands. And then for fingers, you want to articulate the fingers with some little hot dog shapes. So again, keep it pretty easy, simple. And there we go. So you've got like a basic skeleton that you can build off of for your the rest of your drawing. Now this one's pretty generic and pretty iconic. At this point, you could go nuts. You could make a comic with a character much like this. Of course, we need some beefier arms. So to do that, we just put a shape on top of that line with it sort of in the center. Again, I'm keeping it simple with some simple rectangles that I'm sure you guys can all draw again. And then we can also do that for the legs. So just like that. And then I can take my eraser and I can go back and erase some of these internal lines that I don't need anymore. You don't have to do that. It's not really necessary, but it might be a little bit confusing seeing all these lines as you're starting off and refining your character. So you get that. All right, and so from this drawing, this is a really nice sort of drawing to build on for other things. Like I think about the arms that I want to have, so I'm going to actually complete this line. So I'm going to go back and draw this line, and then I'm going to make the shoulders come up a little bit more, connect to the neck, round that off so it's a little bit softer, not so angular, and then I can go back. So like this. And then let's see, so we could do the same thing for the legs. So again, a nice curve here. Maybe make a curve here. I'm going to kind of pull out the foot, maybe a little bit here on the back, and it's on the back here. Okay, and then I'm going to go back. Cool. If you end up erasing a little bit of your line, just go back, redefine it, and that's fine. Okay, and so then you're kind of ready to just go ahead and if you want to add some clothes, that's cool. For my cartoons, usually I do like kind of like little curves for where the shirt's going to be. So we're going to have maybe we'll have her in a t-shirt here, and then a little line there, line there, line there. And then just sort of having the t-shirt lines not quite line up with the arm lines that we've got here. And then we've got a little collar here for the shirt. See how it sort of like curves down. And then, let's see. And then we'll give maybe her some, let's see, let's do, what, some capris, I guess, like little short pants. That works. Okay, we got some little short pants here. Got that curve line. That curve line's also, if you really hit that, that's going to look more three-dimensional. We'll do some more 3D exercises as we go. If you just want to keep it simple, keep a straight line, that's cool too. And then let's go back. Let's give her some socks. A little tube on the top. And then the shoes. So then shoes, I just do this. You know, for all these like details and things, I'll try to at some point get some more videos on so you can kind of see how I think through some accessories and things like that. But I just want you to have, you know, some basic ideas so that you can draw your own cartoons. Super simple, just to start off and making your comics. I'm all for you guys, you know, going back and polishing things a little bit more, refining things as you go. But you know, I really like to emphasize, just make comics with whatever you can draw right now. Don't worry about sort of tightening things up too much. Okay, so we've got her. Okay, let's give her a nose, and let's give her some. Let's maybe do like a cool like earring thing. I don't know what we could do, like something like this. Let's say do some hair. Cool. Let's say I like. So hair you can just do with like, you know, simple shapes, you know, coming back. Let's do like maybe a swoop kind of thing here. Cool. So now we've got our character. So you can see, you know, it's pretty easy to go from your simple stick figure to your more elaborated, personal, your own cartoon creations. And then, you know, like as we go through a few more exercises, I'll show you how to find some inspiration for making your own cartoons, adding your own details, and thinking about different proportions and things that you can borrow from other cartoonists without, you know, plagiarizing or copyright infringement, but really building on the sort of cartoon history that's out there so that you can make your own cartoons and add to that history as we move into the 21st century. All right, so thanks for watching, guys. This has been a lot of fun, so I hope you enjoy, and be sure, as always, stay tuned for some more videos. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments section and I can get back to you, and also if you have any thoughts on like what you'd like to see in future videos, just let me know. I'm Adam Foto signing off, and be sure to check out dragonandgoat.com. Good luck, make comics, and have fun. Okay, so that you guys can practice some with what we went over in the video, I've got a PDF of this worksheet for our first character practice for you to download from the Dragon and Goat website. If you don't have a printer, most of these worksheets that we have are going to be pretty easy for you to draw yourself. Nothing has to be perfect, so don't really worry about that. For something like this, you can take a simple 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and then just fold it in half this way, and then fold it in half this way, and even without a ruler you'll get 4 even rectangles to work on for your character practice. So for this video, I want you to at least draw 4 new characters based off of stick figures that you're going to draw in these different squares. Now for those stick figures, what I want you to really work on is trying some different shapes, even for the head, and sort of working away from thinking just as a straight stick figure to thinking about how you can really, you know, build out your characters on these simple stick frames. So you might start, as we did with the last one, doing the torso, and then the lines for the shoulder, and then building out with different shapes. So for this character, maybe I work with a sort of like rounded shape for the torso, and then maybe sort of like a triangle for the pelvis. And then for this one, you know, you can try a different shape, so maybe a triangle for the head. And remember, as you're starting these, don't feel like they need to be super detailed or precise. I like to keep things pretty sketchy, going back and forth. And then here we could do, let's do like another sort of shape here. Some sort of, what is this? This isn't a parallelogram, is it? Maybe it is. It's been a while since geometry. So then you just sort of add your sticks in there for the arms and also the legs. So really experiment with different sizes. The bottom one, maybe I do like a really small sort of scale and of the head, and then draw out sort of a line for the body, the torso and the shoulders. And this will get you more to, like, maybe if you're into superhero comics, more of like a superhero proportion for the body. So something like this. And then also like longer legs than we can get for some of the proportions that we've got for like these figures. So I really encourage you to, just experiment, start drawing with the basic shapes, and then who knows what you're going to discover through the characters. I think for this project, don't think about what you're going to really draw. Just draw the shapes first and respond to them. Think about the characteristics that you're going to get from the shapes that you're using, and let them just surprise you. You'll have a lot more fun that way. So be sure, download the worksheet, print it off, or make your own worksheet at home, and give yourself some practice before you watch the next video. We'll be working with a little bit more ideas on how to work with your characters. Thanks for stopping by, and follow us at